Night has a way of revealing the things we hide from ourselves. When the world grows quiet, when the lights dim, when the noise of responsibilities fades away, the heart suddenly hears its own ache louder than ever. Maybe you know this ache. Maybe you know what it feels like to lie awake while everyone else sleeps, wondering why your chest feels so heavy, why your thoughts won't slow down, why the tears rest so close to the surface. The night can feel long when your heart is tired. It can feel like a weight pressing against your ribs, a silence that echoes too loudly, a darkness that seems deeper than usual. But before you think the night is against you, before you imagine you've been abandoned to your thoughts, pause, breathe. Remember one truth: Allah created the night as a place of rest. The Quran reminds us, "And we made your sleep a means for rest, and we made the night as a covering." Chapter 78, verses 9, 10. The night was never meant to frighten you. It was never meant to exhaust you. It was created as a blanket of mercy, a time when the world slows enough for your soul to breathe again. But sometimes the heart is so overwhelmed that even rest feels like a task. Even breathing feels heavy. Even silence feels loud. And if that is where you find yourself right now, then understand this: you are not failing. You are not weak. You are simply human, a soul in need of gentleness, not punishment. You have been carrying so much, more than you tell others, more than you even admit to yourself. Buried responsibilities, quiet disappointments, losses you never healed from, prayers that went unanswered, dreams you never dared to speak aloud, fears that rise only when the world sleeps. Perhaps tonight, your heart is whispering the things it hid during the day, and that whisper feels like a storm. But storms, too, are part of mercy. They clear the air. They shift what needs to be moved. They humble the earth so flowers can grow again. If your heart feels like a storm tonight, then maybe Allah is preparing it for growth. Maybe He is ready to replace something old with something new. Maybe He is clearing a space inside you that was never meant to stay heavy forever. So let the night wrap around you gently. Let yourself feel what you need to feel. Let the tears fall if they must. You don't have to be strong right now. You only have to be honest, because the night is one of the sweetest times to be honest with yourself and with Allah. You see, daytime demands performance. Smiles, conversations, responsibilities, roles. People expect you to function, to move, to produce, to pretend you're fine. But at night, no one is watching. No one is judging. No one is expecting anything. And that is why Allah made night a place of refuge, a quiet sanctuary where broken hearts can soften and tired souls can breathe. Maybe your night feels heavy because you've been running for too long, running from your own exhaustion, your own grief, your own truth. You've been trying to hold everything together with fragile hands, hoping no one sees the cracks. But Allah sees them, not to expose you, but to heal you. Sometimes, the weight you feel isn't because Allah abandoned you. Sometimes the weight is because He is calling you back, gently, softly, through the whispers of your heart. He is saying, "My servant, come to me. Let go. Rest here. I am holding your night for you." But the question is, are you listening? Do you allow yourself to hear Him above your fears, above your memories, above your worries? Tonight, maybe for the first time in a long time, You are being invited to stop running, to simply be. No expectations, no pressure. Just you and your Lord. The night is long, but it is filled with mercy. The darkness is deep, but it holds more softness than you realize. Your heart is tired, but it is safe. Allah knows the secrets of the night, your restless turning, your trembling breath, your unseen tears. He knows, He sees, He hears. In the Quran, Allah reminds you, and He knows what you conceal and what you reveal. Chapter 16, verse 19. Nothing you feel is hidden. Nothing you fear is ignored. Nothing you carry is insignificant. Even the sigh you release tonight is known to Him. Even the pain you cannot put into words is already understood. Sometimes we think Allah only hears eloquent prayers, long supplications, beautiful tears, perfect sentences. But Allah hears broken words. He hears silent prayers. He hears the trembling of your chest. He hears the drop of every tear. He hears you even when you cannot speak. And that is why the night matters, because it gives your heart the quiet it needs to speak honestly to the one who created it. So as the darkness deepens, as the world settles, as your thoughts rise, remember this: you do not enter the night alone. Allah enters it with you. He holds the shadows. He holds your heart. He holds every moment that weighs upon you. And even if you feel lost, you are not unseen. Even if you feel forgotten, you are remembered. Even if you feel like everything is falling apart, you are still held together by the one who never lets go. Sometimes, Allah lets the night feel heavy, so you'll finally pause long enough to hear His call again. Sometimes He lets your heart ache, so it will soften enough to receive healing. Sometimes He allows your tears to fall, so your soul can be washed clean. Pain is never random. Night is never empty. Your struggle is never pointless. Every emotion you feel is part of a divine conversation, one your heart understands, even if your mind does not. So tonight, instead of fearing the night, walk into it gently. Place your burdens down, even if just for a moment. Let the quiet embrace you. Let your soul breathe. Tell Allah everything, even the things you think are small, even the things you feel too ashamed to say, even the things you've buried for years. He already knows, but He loves when you speak to Him. You don't need perfect words. You don't need to be composed. You don't need to be strong. Just be sincere. That sincerity itself is a form of rest, a form of healing, a form of returning. And when you return to Allah, even for a moment, the night becomes softer, lighter, kinder. You may not feel it immediately. Healing is rarely instant. But as the minutes pass and your heart begins to loosen its grip, you will notice it, a subtle shift, a small relief, a quiet calm, a reminder that Allah is near, closer than your breath, closer than your beating heart, closer than your own thoughts. The night may still be long, but now you are no longer facing it alone. You are held, you are seen, you are surrounded by mercy. And this is where the journey begins, in the stillness, in the honesty, in the vulnerability of a tired soul, finally allowing itself to rest. Your night is held by Allah. Your heart is known by Him. Your struggle is seen by Him. Your healing is written by Him. And this moment This very moment is the first step toward peace. This is your beginning. This is your sanctuary. This is your reminder. Rest, weary heart. Allah holds the night for you. And this is where we begin to understand the heart of the believer. There are moments in life when the heart forgets its own resilience. Moments when the smallest disappointment feels overwhelming. When a single harsh word lingers for days. When one setback feels like a collapse of everything you built. You tell yourself you should be stronger. You should handle this better. You shouldn't let small things shake you. But the truth is, nothing about the human heart is small. Everything you feel is connected to a story, a memory, a wound, a hope, a fear. Sometimes the thing that breaks you today is echoing the hurt of something from years ago, and you wonder why you're suddenly so fragile. But you're not fragile, you're layered. You're full of history. You carry more than your hands can hold. And that is why even minor events can wake deep emotions. But remember this, Allah never blames you for being human. He made you human. Your vulnerability is not a flaw. Your emotions are not weaknesses. Your tears are not signs of failure. The Prophet, peace be upon him, cried. He experienced grief. He felt heartache. He mourned. He suffered losses so heavy that your heart might tremble just hearing them. But his tears were never signs of weakness. They were signs of softness, compassion, and connection to Allah. He said, the eyes shed tears, the heart feels sorrow, but we only say that which pleases our Lord. Even the most beloved hearts felt deeply. So why do you shame yourself for feeling? Why do you fear your sadness? Why do you think your pain makes you unworthy? Perhaps you've carried responsibilities for so long that people around you assume you're always okay. They see your smile and assume it's effortless. They watch you handle things with grace and assume you're unbreakable. But inside, you're tired. You're stretched too thin. You're holding up worlds no one sees. Maybe life taught you to be the strong one, the one others rely on, the one who doesn't crumble, the one who keeps moving even when exhausted. But here is the truth. Many people never learn until they collapse. The one who seems strongest is often the one who is most in need of gentleness. And Allah knows this about you, even when no one else does. He knows the wounds you hide. He knows the strength you pretend to have. He knows the quiet desperation behind your calm exterior. He knows the nights you endured without a word. He knows the prayers you whispered when your voice was almost gone. He knows you better than you know yourself. He is closer to you than your jugular vein. Chapter 50, verse 16. So even when you forget your strength, Allah does not. Even when you doubt your resilience, Allah does not. Even when you see yourself as weak, Allah sees your effort, your patience, your persistence. You are harder on yourself than Allah ever is. But where did this harshness come from? Why do you treat yourself with so little compassion? Why do you question your worth every time you stumble? Maybe someone in your past taught you to measure your value by your perfection. Maybe someone made you feel that mistakes made you unlovable. Maybe someone convinced you that you were only worthy when you were strong. But Allah never said that. Allah never demanded perfection from you. Allah never asked you to be flawless. Allah never told you that weakness is shameful. Instead, He said, Allah does not burden a soul beyond what it can bear. Chapter 2, verse 286, meaning, He knows your capacity. He knows your limits. He knows your breaking point, and He never pushes you past it. People might. Life might. Your expectations of yourself might. But Allah never does. When the heart forgets its own strength, Allah reminds it through small mercies, sometimes through a moment of calm, sometimes through a person who brings ease, sometimes through a verse that reaches you at the perfect moment, and sometimes He reminds you through the pain itself, because pain is not the enemy. Pain is a messenger, a signal, a whisper from your soul saying, I need care, I need rest, I need softness, I need Allah. Pain pushes you back toward the one you drifted away from, not because you lost faith, but because life distracted you, responsibilities drowned you, loneliness wore you down, exhaustion made your prayers rushed. So Allah, in His wisdom, lets your heart weaken just enough for you to remember who strengthens it. And that is not punishment, that is love. The kind of love that pulls you closer when you didn't realize you were drifting. You may think you're falling apart, but what if you are simply falling back into the arms of your Lord? What if your weakness today is the doorway to a strength you didn't know you needed? What if the ache in your chest is a sign that Allah is rearranging something inside you, adjusting, healing, preparing? Look closely at your life. Think of how many times you broke and then came back stronger. Think of the moments you thought you would never survive, but somehow you are still here. You prayed for strength, and Allah gave it to you in ways you only recognized later. You prayed for ease, and Allah gave you a path you didn't understand at first. You prayed for healing, and Allah removed people, closed doors, shifted your life in ways that hurt before they healed. So why now do you doubt that you will rise again? Your heart may feel weak today, but weakness is not permanent. It is a passing cloud, soft, temporary, drifting. And beneath that cloud is the sky of your faith, wide, open, vast, still air, still strong, still yours. Sometimes your heart forgets that it has survived every night before this one. It forgets that storms always eventually pass. It forgets that dawn always returns even when the night feels endless. So let this be your reminder. Your heart is stronger than the moment you are in. It grew through trials you didn't choose. It healed from losses you never asked for. It carried you through days you were sure you wouldn't survive. So why would it not carry you now? Allah did not shape your heart to be fragile. He shaped it to be resilient, soft enough to feel, yet strong enough to endure, gentle enough to love, yet firm enough to keep going. Your heart is not breaking. It is expanding. It is learning. It is deepening. It is preparing. And sometimes what feels like collapse is actually transformation. The caterpillar must break to become the butterfly. The seed must split to become the tree. The heart must ache to discover its own depth. Pain often feels like an ending, but it is usually the beginning of a new version of you, one that is wiser, calmer, more connected to Allah, more aware of what truly matters. So, if your heart feels tired, lost, or fragile, don't panic. Don't think it's the end. Don't assume you are failing. You are simply growing. And growth, by its nature, is uncomfortable. But it is through this discomfort that Allah builds your strength. He is rewriting something in your soul. He is teaching you how to stand again. He is bringing you closer to Him in a way comfort never could. So breathe, rest, allow the process. Let your heart soften. Let your tears fall if they come. Let your chest loosen its grip. You are safe. You are held. You are guided. You are exactly where Allah wants you to be. For wisdom you may not understand yet, but someday you will look back on this night and realize it was the night your heart remembered its strength. And this is where the soul begins to remember what it once knew. There is a special kind of silence that belongs only to the night. A silence that holds the unspoken. A silence that carries the weight of everything you didn't say out loud today. Everything you swallowed. Everything you hid behind your smile. Everything you told yourself you would deal with later. But now, when the world quiets, when the noise settles, when the shadows stretch across your room, you feel the emotions you tried to push away. It is in this hour that the ache in your chest becomes louder. The thoughts you ignored start to return. The sadness you paused earlier resurfaces. And you wonder, why does everything feel heavier at night? Why do memories sharpen? Why do fears grow? Why do questions flood your mind when you should be resting? But hear this truth. The night was never meant to frighten you. The night was meant to hold you, because there is one who never sleeps, one who never grows tired, one who is watching over you, even when your own heart feels lost in the dark. Allah says in the Quran, "Your Lord is ever watchful." Chapter 89, verse 14. Think about that. Ever watchful. Not sometimes. Not occasionally. Not only when you are strong. Not only when you feel faithful. Always. Even when your hands are trembling. Even when your mind is scattered. Even when your eyes are swollen from crying. Even when your faith feels thin as a thread. Allah sees you. Not just the outer you, but the inner world no one else knows. He sees the moments you held back tears so others wouldn't worry. He sees the times you forced yourself to keep going when all you wanted was rest. He sees the wounds you don't show, the fears you don't admit, the hopes you barely dare to speak. And he sees the exhaustion in your soul that even you struggle to understand. You may think the night hides you because no one else is awake to notice the heaviness you carry, but Allah does. And it is in this quiet darkness that His mercy descends most gently. The Prophet, peace be upon him, told us, "Our Lord descends to the lowest heaven in the last third of the night, and He says, 'Who is calling upon me that I may answer him?'" Bukhari. Think of that moment. Think of what it means that the King of Kings invites you, seeks you, asks for you in the hours when the world sleeps. You with your doubts. You with your brokenness. You with your mistakes. You with your fear. You with your not-so-perfect faith. You with your fragile heart. Allah calls to you personally, not because you are perfect, but because you are His. What kind of Lord does this? What kind of love is this? What kind of mercy sees your night, not as a moment of loneliness, but as an opening for intimacy? Allah does not wait for you to come with polished faith. He does not wait for you to be put together. He does not wait for you to feel strong. He does not wait for you to carry certainty in your chest. He meets you where you are, in your mess, in your confusion, in your fatigue, in your quiet sobs, in your whispered prayers, in your trembling voice. He sees you. He always has. Maybe there were nights in your past when you cried alone and thought no one heard you, but Allah did. Maybe there were moments you sat on the edge of your bed, feeling overwhelmed, feeling forgotten, feeling unimportant, thinking no one noticed your pain, but Allah did. Maybe there were times you stayed awake, worrying about the future, replaying mistakes, begging for a little peace, and you wondered if your prayers were ever reaching anywhere. But Allah heard every word. He heard the ones you spoke, the ones you whispered, and even the du'as that formed silently in your chest, because your tongue was too tired to move. He hears the prayers you don't even know how to make. He hears the discomfort you can't explain. He hears the ache that doesn't translate into words, because your heart speaks a language that Allah understands, even when you do not. So while you sit in the stillness of this night, thinking you are alone, feeling like your life is paused and the world has moved on without you, Allah is watching you with a mercy deeper than the ocean, softer than the moonlight on your skin. He is closer to you now than at any moment of the day, because in the day, you are surrounded by people, responsibilities, expectations. The world is loud. Your heart is distracted. Your mind is busy. But in the night, when the world sleeps and the noise fades, you have only Him, and He loves meeting you when it is just you and Him, when your walls fall, when your defenses fade, when your heart finally speaks honestly. You were made to find Him in the night. You were made to be seen by Him in the moments no one else sees. Why else would He say, "Stand in the night and pray to Him"? Chapter 76, verse 26. Why else would He swear by the night in so many chapters? Night is not a time of emptiness. Night is a time of divine closeness. The stillness you feel is not abandonment, it is invitation. The loneliness you feel is not punishment, it is space. The heaviness you feel is not rejection, it is a sign that your soul is longing for the one who created it. So if you sit awake tonight with worries pressing against your ribs, with questions that won't settle, with emotions you don't know how to carry, with a heart that feels worn thin, sit gently, breathe softly. You do not have to mask anything here. You are not required to be strong. You don't need perfect words. You don't even need full faith. All you need is to turn your heart slightly, just slightly, toward the one who never stops watching over you. And you will feel it, that subtle shift inside, that warmth, that calm, that whisper of reassurance that you are not alone after all, because you never were, and you never will be. Allah sees you in the dark. He sees you in your tiredness. He sees you in your long pauses. He sees you in your quiet courage. He sees you in your attempts to hold on. He sees you when you break and when you rebuild. He sees you when you fall and when you rise again. He has seen every moment that shaped you. Every moment you thought no one noticed. Every moment you kept going, even when you felt you had nothing left. And He will continue to see you as you grow, as you heal, as you become the person your trials are shaping you into. You are not invisible. Your pain is not ignored. Your prayers are not lost. You are held by a Lord whose mercy is wider than all your fears, deeper than all your sadness, and closer than all your doubts. And this is where the heart begins to feel its Lord again. There is a kind of trembling that only happens when the world sleeps. A fragile, quiet trembling. The kind that sits in the center of your chest, like a small bird unsure if it should fly or collapse. The kind that appears not because something terrible happened, but because everything inside you feels too full, too heavy, too unspoken. You lie awake. You stare at the ceiling. Your mind is loud in the darkness. Your breaths feel shallow. Your thoughts race in circles that never seem to reach an end. And you ask yourself, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just sleep? Why is my heart doing this? But hear this truth gently. There's nothing wrong with you. You are human. And the night is when the human soul speaks the loudest. During the day, you silence yourself. You hold your emotions together because you have responsibilities, because you have people who depend on you, because you don't have time to slow down, because you must appear fine to keep life moving. But in the late hours, when everyone else rests, your inner world finally has space to breathe. Your worries rise to the surface. Your fears quietly step forward. Your hopes whisper for attention. Your sadness asks to be acknowledged. This trembling is not a breakdown. It is your heart saying, please listen to me. And if you listen closely, you will notice something else, something sacred, something beautiful. The trembling of your heart often appears at the exact hour Allah opens the door of the night to you. The prophet, peace be upon him, said, our Lord descends to the lowest heaven every last third of the night, and he calls out, who is seeking me so that I may answer him? Who is asking forgiveness so that I may forgive him? Bukhari. Think about the timing. The trembling often comes, not during the bright hours, when you're distracted, busy, or surrounded by people. It comes right when the world is quiet, right when the night is deep, right when the gate of mercy is open, right when Allah is calling. Who is awake for me? Who is turning to me? Who needs me? Your trembling is not a random feeling. It is a call, a pull, a gentle nudge from the one who made your heart, a whisper from the unseen world, saying, you are not alone in this moment. I am here. Talk to me. Let it out. Let me hold what is overwhelming you. You see, the soul feels things long before the mind does. Your heart senses its need for Allah. Even when your thoughts are lost or confused, your body feels the weight of unanswered prayers, unreleased tears, unaddressed wounds. So sometimes, your heart trembles when your soul is longing to return to its Creator, not out of fear, but out of need, deep need, a need so ancient and so woven into your being that you cannot silence it forever. You were created with a space inside you that nothing in this world can fill. Not people, not success, not comfort, not distractions. Only Allah can fill that space. So, in the darkness of your room, when your chest tightens and your breath shortens, or your soul is saying, I need the one who made me. You might feel anxious. You might feel restless. You might feel overwhelmed. But underneath all of that is a spiritual truth. Your soul misses its Lord. Your soul is calling home. Have you ever noticed how sometimes the trembling stops the moment you speak to Allah? When you whisper, help me, guide me. I can't do this alone. Please ease my heart. It's as if the fear softens, the tightness loosens, the heaviness lifts, even slightly. That is not imagination. That is connection. Allah says, "Remember me, and I will remember you." Chapter 2, verse 152. The trembling heart at 3 a.m. is the perfect heart to be remembered by Allah. It is the heart that is not distracted, not pretending, not performing, not reciting rehearsed words, not impressing anyone, not trying to appear strong. It is the heart stripped bare honest, raw, vulnerable. And these are the hearts Allah answers most beautifully, because a trembling heart is a heart that has surrendered its pride, a heart that is willing to say, "I cannot handle this alone," a heart that drops its armor and seeks refuge in the only one who was ever meant to carry its burden. It is in these moments that your dua becomes sincere, not poetic, not perfect, not memorized, just sincere. Allah, please. Allah, I'm tired. Allah, I'm scared. Allah, I don't know what to do. These prayers, the ones washed with tears and whispered into the night, are the ones that rise fastest, the ones that change your life, the ones that rearrange your destiny. Your trembling heart is a sign that you are closer to Allah in that moment than during any part of your busy day, because Allah loves the hearts that turn to Him when the world is asleep. He loves the hearts that break open and call for Him. He loves the hearts that come to Him full of need, full of longing, full of weakness. Weakness is not a flaw before Allah. Weakness is intimacy. When a child rushes into a mother's arms, crying, trembling, overwhelmed, is the mother angry? Is she disappointed? Is she frustrated? No. She holds the child closer. She soothes. She comforts. She whispers, "I'm here. You're safe." Now imagine the mercy of the one whose love is infinitely greater than any love in this world. Allah sees your trembling, and instead of turning away, He turns toward you. He moves closer. He brings peace. He sends calm into your chest. He softens the edges of your fear. He eases the shaking. He wraps your heart in a tranquility you couldn't find anywhere else. Allah says, He is with you wherever you are. Chapter 57, verse 4. Even here, even now, even in this moment, when you feel overwhelmed by everything and you don't know what tomorrow holds, you may feel lost, but Allah knows exactly where you are. You may feel empty, but Allah knows exactly what you need. You may feel fragile, but Allah knows how to strengthen you. You may feel afraid, but Allah surrounds you with a protection you cannot see, but can feel. The trembling heart is a heart Allah comes closer to. And often, after the trembling settles, something happens, something subtle, but unmistakable. A moment of stillness, a breath that finally feels complete, a quietness inside you that was not there before, an inner peace that makes no logical sense, but feels undeniably real. This is Sakinaha tranquility Allah sends to the believers who call upon Him with sincerity, especially in the night. Your trembling was not a sign of weakness. It was a doorway into the presence of your Lord, a doorway into healing, a doorway into clarity, a doorway into a strength that comes from beyond this world. So the next time your heart trembles at 3 a.m., do not panic. Do not fear the feeling. Do not shame yourself for being overwhelmed. Instead, whisper gently, Allah, I know you see me. I know you are here. Help me. Guide me. Protect my heart. Calm my soul. And feel how the trembling softens, how the night becomes less dark, how the burden becomes lighter, because you are not alone in that moment. You are never alone in any moment. Your heart is trembling because it is reaching out for the one who created it. And this is where the journey inward becomes a journey upward. There comes the moment in every believer's life, a moment they do not announce, yet it arrives quietly. A moment that feels like a breaking. A moment where the soul whispers, I cannot carry this anymore. You may not say it out loud. Perhaps the people around you never hear it, but Allah hears it. He hears it before you even realize it yourself. Tonight, this part of the journey is for that precise moment, for the moment where your heart is tired, your hope is thin, and your chest feels too tight for even a single breath of relief. This is where Allah bends the night toward you, so it can hold you gently. This is where your exhaustion becomes a doorway, not a defeat, a return, because the tired heart is the heart closest to its Lord. When you cannot explain your pain, there are pains you can speak about, and then there are the others, the ones you silence, the ones you tuck away so deeply that even you stop naming them. Pain that confuses you, pain that embarrasses you, pain that feels too old to still hurt, or too new to understand. You sit with it, alone. You let the world assume you're fine. But Allah says, your Lord has not abandoned you. Quranic translation. The people may not know your silent battles. Your family may see only your surface. Your friends may think you're strong. But your Lord knows the tremble beneath your calm. He knows the way your ribs tighten when you hold back tears. He knows the nights you only inhale half a breath because the whole breath feels too heavy to take in. And He says to you, I am here. I have always been here. Rest your heart with me. When you're afraid of falling apart, some believers fear breaking. They fear collapsing. They fear that if they cry, they will drown in their own tears. But the fear of breaking is often heavier than the breaking itself. And perhaps that is why Allah allows the heart to soften, to bend, to loosen, to melt, because hardness hurts more. You were not created to be steel. You were created to be human, and the human heart was created to bow, to weep, to surrender in gentleness. The Prophet said, He is not from us who does not show mercy. Mercy with others, mercy with yourself. Allah does not love harshness, not in dealing with others, not in dealing with your own soul. So when your heart trembles, let it. When your tears rise, let them. When you feel the weight pushing you downward, don't resist that fall, because the believer never falls onto the ground. They fall into sujud, into the hands of the most merciful, into the safest place the universe has ever known. Tonight, Allah holds the night, just for you. There is a reason Allah created the night, a divine wisdom in darkness, in quietness, in stillness. The day exposes you, the night wraps you. The day demands from you, the night replenishes you. The day is for the world, the night is for your heart and Allah. What a mercy, what a gift, what a private invitation for the weary soul. If you have felt drained lately, if you feel stretched thin, if your mind keeps replaying memories you wish you could silence, then tonight is the night Allah is telling you, rest, do not fight the fatigue. I designed the night for your healing. There is a unique dignity in nighttime vulnerability. Nobody sees you, nobody measures you, nobody expects anything from you. Only Allah sees you, and He expects nothing but your sincerity. Tonight, He holds the night open, as if it were a soft blanket, a place for your heart to loosen, to breathe, to be held without judgment. When the world becomes too loud, Sometimes the world becomes unbearably loud, not in sound, but in demands, in expectations, in disappointments, in conversations that drain the soul. Sometimes even your own thoughts become loud. Your worries, your what-ifs, your regrets, your fears, your memories. You keep replaying even though they hurt you. You may try to distract yourself, to busy your mind, to silence the noise, but nothing works permanently because the soul does not quiet down through entertainment. It quiets down only through remembrance. Allah says, "Surely, in the remembrance of Allah, do hearts find rest." Quranic translation. Not escape, not denial, not drowning in activities. Remembrance. The kind of remembrance that untangles knots. The kind that wipes dust off the heart. The kind that melts inner storms into calmness. And tonight, the night that Allah holds for you, is the easiest moment to remember Him. No need for complex du'as, no need for long words. Just whisper, "Allah, I am tired. Help me." And the one who hears all whispers will answer you in ways your heart has forgotten to expect. When you've been carrying too much, perhaps you are someone who carries everyone else's burdens. The reliable one, the strong one, the one others come to when they're hurting. But who do you go to? Who carries you? The truth is, your soul is not built to hold everything. You were never meant to be the holder of the world. You were meant to be the servant of the one who holds the world. Allah says, "And your Lord lifts the burdens from you." Quranic translation. Not reduces them, not lightens them. He lifts them. But first, you have to loosen your grip. You have to unclench your heart. You have to stop pretending you don't feel what you feel. Because Allah heals what we acknowledge. He lifts what we place before Him. So tonight, place your heaviness at His doorstep. Tell Him everything, even the things you think are small, even the embarrassment you never voiced, even the confusion that twists inside you. Allah is the one who honors the broken. He is the one who elevates the sincere. He is the one who takes the weary heart and transforms it into something luminous. But only when you release what you've been gripping so tightly. There is no weakness in needing Allah. In this world, needing people is seen as weakness. But in the sight of Allah, needing Him is strength. You are strongest when you say, "I cannot," but you can. You are strongest when you surrender. You are strongest when you lean on Him more than you lean on yourself, because He is not limited. He never tires. He never closes His door. He never turns you away. And that is why the weary heart is the heart closest to Him. A full heart doesn't seek. A confident heart doesn't call. A comfortable heart doesn't weep. But the tired heart begs. The tired heart whispers. The tired heart needs. And need is the first step toward intimacy with Allah. Your tears are not signs of weakness. They are signs of life. Sometimes you look at your tears and feel ashamed. You think, "Why am I still crying? Shouldn't I be stronger by now?" But tears are not failure. They are release. They are cleansing. They are a language of the heart, spoken directly to the one who understands. The Prophet said, "The eye weeps, the heart grieves." This is not a reprimand. It is permission. A reminder that sadness does not contradict faith. Crying does not diminish your worth. Pain does not cancel your trust in Allah. You can be a believer and be exhausted. You can be grateful and still hurt. You can trust Allah and still cry in sujud. Your tears tonight are not signs that you are breaking apart. They are signs that you are returning. Let this be the night you breathe again. So tonight, let the night hold you. Let your breath slow down. Let your heart soften. Let your worries loosen their grip. Let Allah take from you what you no longer have strength to carry. You are not alone. You have never been alone. You will never be alone. Allah has been with you in every silent battle, in every hidden sadness, in every quiet hope, in every trembling prayer. He holds the night for you so that you may rest. He holds the night for you so that you may heal. He holds the night for you so that you may remember you are His. And this is where we begin to understand the softness Allah loves in His servants, the humility that brings the heart back to its Creator, the weary soul that finds its rest only in Him. There are moments in a believer's life when the night feels heavier than usual, not because the sky is darker, and not because the world is silent, but because your own heart has become a landscape of shadows, a place where your fears echo, where your doubts breathe, where your worries stretch out their hands and tug at you, pulling your thoughts in circles. But there is a truth that many forget. Darkness is not a punishment. Sometimes it is a classroom, a place where Allah teaches you what daylight hides, a place where your soul sees with deeper vision, a place where your heart learns truths it could not learn anywhere else. Tonight, as the world sleeps and the sky drapes its velvet over the earth, Allah may be teaching you something precious, something only darkness can reveal. This chapter is about that teaching, about the gentle lessons hidden in the quiet, about the mercy found in the shadows. Because not every darkness is the absence of light. Sometimes it is the protection of light. When Allah turns off the world, there are times when Allah dims everything around you, your plans, your relationships, your comfort, your confidence. You feel like the lights of your life have been switched off. You reach out but don't find the clarity you used to have. You seek direction but don't see the path. You try to move forward but feel stuck in place. And in that stillness, you wonder, why is everything suddenly quiet? Why did Allah remove what once guided me? You may think it is abandonment, but it is not. It is redirection. It is Allah saying, if you keep relying on the lights of the world, you'll never see the light that comes from me. And so, He turns off the world so your eyes can adjust to the brilliance of faith you have ignored, the wisdom of the hidden path. Allah says in the Quran, it may be that you dislike something while it is good for you. We often imagine this verse applies to hardship alone, but it also applies to confusion, to darkness, to the feeling of uncertainty. You see, if you walked through life always understanding, always seeing, always controlling, you would never rely on Allah. Faith grows not in clarity, but in the lack of it. It grows when you say, I don't see the path, but I trust the one who guides it. The darkness of the night teaches you that. It teaches you to rely on steps, not sight, on trust, not predictions. And in that dependency, Allah writes a new strength into your heart, a strength that cannot be found in comfort or ease. The night is not the enemy. The world teaches you to fear the night, to dread silence, to panic at stillness, to interpret quietness as loneliness. But Allah uses the night differently. He uses it as a sanctuary, a refuge, a sacred pause for hearts that are overwhelmed by life. The Prophet said, the closest a servant is to his Lord is during the last part of the night. Why the night? Why that specific time? Because the world sleeps, distractions fade, your mask falls, your truth surfaces, your tears become sincere, your whispers become pure. In the day, you speak with your mouth. At night, you speak with your soul. The night is not your enemy. It is your companion, your teacher, your silent guardian. It holds you in its embrace so that you may finally hear the words your heart has been too busy to listen to. When loneliness visits you, sometimes Allah brings you loneliness not to punish you, but to introduce you to yourself. When you are surrounded by people, you often neglect your inner world. You distract your heart with noise, with interactions, with responsibilities. But when Allah pulls people away, when He quiets your social life, when He creates a pause in your relationships, it is because He wants to open a conversation with you that only solitude can host. He is calling you closer. He is asking you to meet Him in the quiet. Loneliness is not emptiness. It is a meeting point, a sacred appointment between you and your Lord, a place where you realize you were never truly alone. You were simply being prepared to feel a level of closeness with Allah that crowds would have drowned out. The darkness that softens hearts. There is a hidden mercy in feeling lost, in feeling unsure, in feeling like everything around you has dimmed. Because when your life becomes a little darker, your heart becomes a little softer. Pain makes you humble. Confusion makes you reflective. Worry strips you of arrogance. Fear makes you fall to your knees. And in that kneeling, your heart discovers what it long forgot. I need Allah. The world may think your sadness makes you weak, but Allah sees it differently. Your sadness is the rain that softens the soil of your heart. And once softened, it becomes ready for new growth that could not have happened in the dryness of comfort. When Allah brings you to the edge of yourself, sometimes the night feels overwhelming because Allah is bringing you to the border of your endurance, the point where your own strength is no longer enough. The moment you say, I can't continue like this, people see this moment as breaking, but in reality, it is a transition. This is the point where Allah opens His hand, where He says, you were never meant to walk with your own strength. Now walk with mine. When Allah takes you to the edge of yourself, He is not trying to destroy you. He is trying to rebuild you. A reconstructed heart, a reshaped soul, a refined trust, a deeper faith. The night is the workshop of that transformation. Quiet, unseen, delicate, merciful. Light is born from darkness. Think of every dawn you've ever witnessed. The sky does not explode into brightness. The sun does not rise in a single burst. The light begins as a thin line, barely visible, barely breathing, barely there. But it grows, minute by minute, softly, gently, patiently. This is how Allah brings light into your life too. Not all at once, but gradually, mercifully, in portions your heart can absorb. Your night is not permanent. Your darkness is not punishment. Your confusion is not failure. It is simply the womb of your dawn, the place where Allah gathers your future light before placing it into your present. And when dawn finally comes, your heart will whisper, now I understand. This is why I had to go through the night. Let tonight be your turning point. Tonight, let the darkness teach you. Let it soften you. Let it humble you. Let it bring you closer to your Lord. Do not rush the process. Do not curse what Allah has placed in your path. Do not fear the night, for He is the one who holds it. You are being shaped. You are being guided. You are being spoken to in a language the daylight cannot translate. Allah holds the night for you so He can reveal truths that only the quiet can carry. And when you learn to listen, when you learn to trust, when you learn to surrender, you will realize something remarkable. The darkness was never your enemy. It was your teacher, your purifier, your companion. your path back to Allah. And this is how the believer begins to see the world, not by the brightness of the eyes, but by the illumination of the heart. This is where we begin to understand the sacred wisdom of the night and the light it plants within us. There are wounds in life that people see, visible wounds, wounds with names, wounds with stories you can explain, but there are also wounds without language, the ones that live deep in the quiet places of your heart, the ones you learned to hide, not because they are small, but because they are too big to understand. Wounds from disappointment, wounds from betrayal, wounds from fear, wounds from being strong for too long, wounds from battles nobody knows you fought. Those wounds ache differently. They don't burn, they don't stab, they don't bleed. They simply exist as a quiet heaviness, a private ache, a silent bruise beneath the ribs. And for wounds like these, Allah gives the night, not as a time of sorrow, but as a healing space, a space where emotions loosen, where the soul finally exhales, where the heart lowers its armor, because no one is watching except the one it longs to return to. Tonight is about that healing, the healing God sends to wounds that do not have words. When pain refuses to leave, some pain does not leave easily. It lingers, settles in, makes a home inside your chest. You wake with it, you walk with it, you sleep with it, and perhaps you ask yourself, why hasn't Allah removed this pain yet? Why does it still hurt? Why does the healing feel so slow? But consider this. Sometimes Allah removes pain. Sometimes Allah transforms pain. And sometimes He uses pain to bring you closer to Him than ease ever could. It is not punishment. It is not abandonment. It is preparation. And some hearts can only be prepared through the tenderness of ache, not because Allah needs you to hurt, but because pain softens places in you that nothing else can reach. The healing that happens in silence. People heal loudly. They talk. They cry. They vent. But hearts heal quietly. They heal in the stillness of Fajr. They heal in the slow whisper of a private prayer. They heal when you sit alone and finally admit to yourself, I am hurting. And only Allah understands this pain. Healing is not always dramatic. Sometimes it looks like your breath becoming calmer, your thoughts slowing down, your chest feeling a little lighter, your tears falling less often, your trust in Allah growing deeper. Healing is subtle. Healing is gentle. Healing is not loud. Allah does not rush the process, because rushed healing leads to shallow faith. But slow healing, rooted in the night, nourished by patience, and held by Allah, becomes permanent. What Allah does with a broken heart is not useless. It is not damaged beyond repair. It is not something to be ashamed of. In the sight of Allah, a broken heart is a treasure. The Prophet said, Allah is with the brokenhearted. He does not say this about wealth. He does not say this about strength. He does not say this about perfection. He says it about brokenness. A broken heart bends, and when it bends, it bows. And when it bows, it meets the ground in sujud. This is why Allah loves the brokenhearted, because their pain pushes them closer to Him. Brokenness becomes connection. Sadness becomes sincerity. Tears become conversation with the divine. Your heartbreaking was not a failure. It was an invitation. The unseen things Allah is healing. Right now, tonight, as you listen, there are things Allah is healing inside you that you cannot see. He is easing the tightness in your chest. He is softening old griefs you forgot you carried. He is erasing the sting of past memories. He is rewriting fears to trust. He is shaping you into someone more patient, more gentle, and more resilient, more connected to Him. The healing may be invisible, but that does not make it absent. Just as you don't see your bones growing, yet they grow. Just as you don't see your heart beating, yet it beats. Just as you don't see your breath enter your lungs, yet it sustains you. Allah's healing is quiet, but constant, unseen, but powerful, slow, but purposeful. He heals you in ways you will only understand later. When you ask Allah, why? There are moments you ask, why did I have to go through this? Why did that person hurt me? Why did I lose something I loved? Why did life unfold the way it did? These are not sinful questions. They are human questions. They are the questions of a heart seeking meaning in the shadow of pain. But here is something to remember. Allah never wounds without wisdom. Allah never tests without purpose. Allah never takes without giving something better, even if the better does not arrive immediately. Sometimes the better is patience. Sometimes the better is wisdom. Sometimes the better is maturity. Sometimes the better is detachment from the wrong people. Sometimes the better is closeness to Allah. And sometimes the better is the person you become because of your pain. Allah knows the version of you that exists on the other side of this trial. You don't. Not yet. But He does. And He is shaping you to meet that version. Your wounds will not define you. They will refine you. Pain can do two things. It can break you, or it can shape you. Allah never intends for it to break you. He intends it to refine you, to polish your character, to strengthen your heart, to deepen your faith, to increase your compassion, to widen your understanding. Your wounds are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of your transformation. The night you are living through is not a prison. It is a cocoon. You are becoming something softer, something wiser, something more aware of Allah, something more capable of loving and being loved. Pain is not your identity. It is your catalyst. When you feel you are healing too slowly, healing is not a straight line. It is a spiral, a curve, a pattern of good days, bad days, still healing days, beginning again days, feeling strong days, crying unexpectedly days. You may think you are failing in your healing, but you are not. You are simply human. Even the companions of the Prophet experienced fear, grief, and heaviness. Even prophets wept. Even the strongest believers felt sadness. You are not slow. You are not weak. You are not behind. You are healing at the exact pace Allah designed for your heart and no one else's. Your journey is unique. Your timeline is sacred. Your growth is unfolding exactly as it should. Let Allah apply the medicine you cannot reach. There are parts of your heart even you cannot enter. Memories you have buried too deep. Fears you cannot articulate. Grief you cannot unravel. But Allah can. He reaches places you do not know exist. He heals wounds you don't know how to describe. He fixes fractures you didn't know you had. Allah is the healer of the unseen, the repairer of the internal, the mender of souls. Your job is not to heal yourself completely. Your job is to turn toward Him and let Him heal you in His timing. You are not meant to carry every scar alone. You are meant to place them in the hands of the most merciful. Tonight, Allah wraps the night around your wounds. So tonight, let the night be your refuge. Let the darkness be your blanket. Let the stillness comfort your heart. Let your tears fall without shame. Let your chest soften. Let your soul breathe. Let your wounds be seen, not by people, but by Allah. He is holding you in ways you cannot feel yet. He is healing you in ways you cannot understand yet. He is preparing you for things you cannot imagine yet. Allah holds the night for you, not to leave you in the dark, but to heal you within it. And when dawn comes, you will rise softer, lighter, cleaner, stronger, and more connected to the one who never left you for a moment. This is how a believer transforms, not in the brightness of ease, but in the quiet tenderness of night. And this is where we begin to understand that every wound carried in the path of Allah becomes a doorway to Him. There are nights when you feel invisible, even to the people around you, even to those who claim to care. You speak, but your words do not seem to land. You try to show your pain, but the world keeps walking. You give, and nobody notices. You hope, and nobody responds. And your heart begins to whisper, softly, quietly, I am alone. Perhaps this is your night. Perhaps this is your heart speaking the truth it has been hiding. The truth that people cannot always see, that the world cannot always validate, that often only Allah witnesses. And this is where the heart must remember. To feel unseen does not mean you are unseen. Not by Him, not for Him. The truth about feeling invisible, feeling unseen, is not a mark of failure. It is not a sign of weakness. It is not punishment. In fact, some of the closest moments with Allah come when you feel invisible. The Prophet said, Allah is with His servant as long as the servant is with Him. Even when nobody else notices, even when every effort seems lost, even when your struggles feel lonely, Allah is closest. The night holds you in His presence. The quiet becomes your sanctuary. The unseen becomes your revelation. It is in these moments that the heart discovers its true strength. Not in recognition, not in applause, not in validation, but in trusting that Allah sees, knows, and honors even the smallest act. When efforts go unnoticed, you have tried, you have given, you have spoken, you have prayed, and yet it feels like the world never noticed. Perhaps you have been patient in the face of difficulty. Perhaps you have been kind when others were unkind. Perhaps you have given your love without expectation. And still, silence. Still, disappointment. Still, emptiness. The human heart often wants reward in ways the eyes can see. But Allah works differently. He says in the Quran, do not think that Allah is unaware of what the wrongdoers do. Even when no one sees, He sees. Even when nobody responds, He responds. Even when the world turns away, He remains. Your efforts, your struggles, your kindness, none of it is wasted. None of it disappears. All of it is recorded in a way the world cannot touch. The loneliness that teaches dependence. Sometimes, being unseen by others is a lesson in dependence. Dependence not on people, not on approval, not on attention, but on Allah. The Prophet said, the most beloved of people to Allah on the day of judgment and the closest to Him will be the ones who are patient and trust Him when unseen. Being unseen is an invitation to sincerity. It is an opportunity to remove the mask you wear for the world. It is a chance to reveal your true heart to the one who never judges, never ignores, and never fails. When nobody witnesses your effort, you are forced to witness it yourself. And when you witness it yourself and still act for Allah, you discover a peace that recognition cannot give. When the world misunderstands you, there are moments when your actions are misunderstood. Your intentions are questioned. Your heart is doubted. It hurts deeply, perhaps more than the pain of being unseen. But consider this. If people understood perfectly, would your heart ever turn fully to Allah? Would your trust grow beyond the need for human approval? The Prophet said, beware of seeking praise from people while Allah is sufficient for you. Sometimes being unseen, sometimes being misunderstood, is a mercy. It teaches you to act for Allah alone. It strengthens the purity of your intention. It brings your heart closer to its Creator. Even when misunderstood, your value is never diminished. Even when unseen, Your efforts are never wasted. Even when lonely, your soul is never abandoned. The comfort of Allah's secret presence. Close your eyes and imagine. Allah is with you in every hidden moment, in every tear that falls silently, in every prayer whispered only in your chest, in every action nobody noticed, nobody praised, nobody recorded but Him. He is there. He sees. He hears. He honors. The night is wrapped around you like a soft embrace. Every unrecognized effort, every hidden struggle, every quiet act of faith, He holds it. He treasures it. He rewards it in ways unimaginable. The Quran reminds us, whoever does righteousness, whether male or female, while he is a believer, we will surely give him a good life, and we will surely give them their reward according to the best of what they used to do. Even the quietest acts are seen and valued by Him. Even the acts that went unnoticed by others are written as treasures in the heaven. The night is a witness. The night is a companion. The darkness holds no judgment. The silence offers no distraction. Here, the heart can speak freely. Speak to Allah. Speak of your exhaustion. Speak of your sadness. Speak of your doubts. Speak of your loneliness. He hears. He understands. He never misunderstands. In the night, your heart is fully visible to Allah. And when the world could not see, this is the moment you are fully seen. Even when unseen, your soul is never alone. Even when ignored, your presence is never meaningless. Even when forgotten, you are never forsaken. The reward for the unseen. Allah promises reward for those whose good deeds go unseen. Do not lose hope, nor grieve, and you will be superior if you are true believers. There is a superiority in sincerity, a beauty in unseen effort, a light in quiet devotion. Those who act for Allah when no one is watching have a special closeness to Him, a closeness that recognition cannot buy, a peace that praise cannot offer, a joy that applause cannot grant. Being unseen by the world becomes a secret blessing, a chance to cultivate a heart that depends only on Allah, trusts only in Him, and finds rest only in His presence. A prayer for the unseen heart. If your heart feels invisible, if your efforts go unnoticed, if your struggles seem silent, if your pain is private, then whisper this prayer. Allah, I am here. I am striving. I am weary. I am unseen, but I trust you. I offer you my heart, my efforts, my intentions, my tears. Be my witness. Be my comfort. Be my reward. And know that He answers, not always in the way we expect, not always in the timing we choose, but in a way that heals, strengthens, and illuminates your heart. The night will pass, but you will rise. When dawn comes, the world will begin to notice again. But whether it notices or not, it no longer matters, because you have learned. Being unseen does not mean being alone. Being unseen does not mean being worthless. Being unseen does not mean being unloved. You have learned. Allah is closest when the world turns away. He carries you when nobody else does. He sees you when nobody else does. He honors you when nobody else does. And the night that once felt empty now feels sacred, now feels alive, now feels full of His presence. Your heart, once heavy with invisibility, now breathes freely. Your spirit, once burdened by the world's indifference, now soars with trust in Allah. And this is where the believer learns the most profound truth. Even when unseen by the world, we are never unseen by the one who matters most. There are nights when words fail. Even prayers feel heavy. Even the whisper of your own heart seems distant. Silence takes over. The world goes still. And in that stillness, a quiet longing rises to be heard, to be understood, to be comforted. But tonight, the silence is not your enemy. Tonight, the silence is a messenger, a gentle call from Allah to your soul, a whisper that cannot be spoken aloud, but can be felt deep within your heart. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Sometimes stillness carries more truth than conversation. Sometimes your heart listens best when nothing is said. The weight of mercy of silence. Silence can feel heavy. It can feel like a room closing in, like a burden pressing on your chest. You may even think, I am forgotten. I am alone. Nobody is listening. But silence is also a mercy. It is a pause for your soul, a space where your heart can process, reflect, and surrender, where the distractions of the world fall away, where you are left with your truth and with Allah. The Prophet said, Allah is with the one who is patient in silence and the one who waits upon him. Silence teaches patience. Silence teaches humility. Silence teaches trust. And most importantly, silence teaches that presence is not always loud. It teaches that connection does not always need words. It teaches that even when the heart cannot articulate its pain, Allah understands fully. When your soul is too tired for words, there are moments when speaking feels impossible, when tears are too raw for explanation, when fears are too complex to untangle, when the heart is so exhausted it cannot find expression. This is the soul at its most honest, at its most vulnerable, at its most sincere. Allah sees these moments. He does not require eloquence. He does not demand perfection. He only asks for honesty. Your silence is your prayer. Your breath is your devotion. Your stillness is your worship. Even when you cannot speak, you are heard. Even when you cannot pray, you are remembered. Even when your heart feels empty, you are full in His presence. The wisdom hidden in quiet reflection. Silence allows the heart to reflect on its own journey. It allows the soul to examine its mistakes, its fears, its desires, its attachments. In the stillness of the night, the heart can ask, where have I turned for comfort? Where have I relied on my own strength instead of Allah? Where have I sought recognition from people instead of reward from Him? The Prophet said, a moment of reflection is better than a year of prayer performed without understanding. When you sit in quiet reflection, you discover truths that noise and distraction have hidden. You recognize patterns in your thoughts. You uncover intentions that were misguided. You begin to see the deeper lessons behind every hardship, every challenge, every tear. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is insight. Silence is guidance. Silence is a conversation that needs no words. When the world demands words you cannot give, the world always demands explanation. It always demands performance. It always demands expression. But some nights, your heart cannot meet those demands. Some nights, you simply cannot give an answer. Some nights, you need to sit with what is, without interpretation, without justification, without performance. And this is where Allah's mercy is revealed. He does not require the world's understanding. He does not rely on the validation of others. He only relies on your sincerity. The Quran reminds us, He knows what is in your hearts, so do not despair. Even when you cannot explain, even when you cannot speak, even when the world expects more than you can give, Allah knows, Allah sees, Allah is enough. The healing power of sacred stillness. There is a sacredness in silence, a hidden healing that noise cannot provide. When the heart rests in stillness, it begins to repair itself. Your mind slows, your chest softens, your burdens feel lighter, your spirit finds space to breathe. In the quiet of the night, Allah places His mercy around your soul. He wraps your heart in patience. He pours understanding into your spirit. He restores what exhaustion and fear have fractured. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, you begin to feel the weight lift. The night transforms from a time of heaviness to a time of nourishment. Your silence becomes fertile soil for growth, intent, faith, and resilience. When words are not enough, trust becomes everything. Faith often reveals itself in the absence of words. Trust becomes the bridge between your weakness and His strength. Even when prayers falter, even when hopes waver, even when your voice cannot rise above your grief, trust whispers, even now, Allah is near. Even now, your heart is seen. Even now, your efforts matter. The Prophet said, "He who relies upon Allah, Allah suffices him." Silence does not mean inaction. It does not mean despair. It is a sign of reliance, a sign of surrender, a sign of faith. In the quiet, your heart discovers that trust can speak louder than words. And trust, once embraced, becomes unshakable. A prayer in the silence. Tonight, if your heart is heavy and words fail, let this prayer rise in your soul. Allah, I am here in the quiet. I do not have the words. I do not have the energy. I do not have the clarity. But you see, you know, you understand? I surrender what I cannot express to you. I leave my fears, my pain, and my exhaustion in your hands. Be my voice. Be my comfort. Be my guidance. Even if the prayer is only in your heart, Allah hears it. Even if it is only intention, Allah receives it. Even if it is only a whisper of trust, Allah honors it. The night listens. The night witnesses. The night becomes a sacred companion to your soul. From silence to illumination, silence is never wasted. Every moment spent in quiet reflection, every tear shed privately, every thought examined in stillness, all of it is precious. All of it is shaping your heart. All of it is a preparation for light. Just as seeds germinate beneath the soil in darkness, your heart grows in the sacred quiet. When dawn comes, you will emerge not only with understanding, but with a heart that has learned to hear the truth without needing it to be spoken, with a spirit that has learned to trust without needing reassurance, with a soul that has learned to rest even when the world demands movement. The silence was not empty. The stillness was not wasted. The night was holding you, shaping you, preparing you for what is to come. And this is where we begin to understand that the heart's deepest conversations often happen in the quiet moments, when nothing is said and everything is felt. There comes a moment in every believer's journey when the heart stops chasing the noise of the world. It stops striving for recognition, for certainty, for control. It pauses, it exhales, and it rests. Not because life has changed, not because difficulties have vanished, not because answers have arrived. The heart rests because it remembers. Allah is enough. He has always been enough. He always will be enough. And in that surrender, the soul discovers a peace that no distraction can provide, no achievement can earn, no approval can grant. This is the rest of the believer, the rest that comes not from ease, but from trust. The rest that comes not from absence of fear, but from reliance on the one who is never absent. The true meaning of rest. Many seek rest in comfort. Many chase it in sleep. Many pursue it in approval, in wealth, in success, in relationships. But true rest is different. It is not external. It is internal. It is a state of the heart. The Prophet said, "Verily, in the remembrance of Allah does the heart find rest." Rest is not found in silence alone, or in sleep alone, or in being free from hardship. It is found in awareness, in presence, in connection, in knowing that no matter what comes, you are in the care of the most merciful. When the heart rests in Allah, it is like water returning to its source, like a bird returning to its nest, like a wanderer finally finding the path home. The night as a sanctuary for the soul, The night holds a special kind of peace, a peace that cannot be replicated in the day. When the world quiets, when distractions fade, when the stars watch silently over the earth, the heart remembers. It remembers that the world is temporary, that worries are fleeting, that struggles are passing, and that Allah remains. In these quiet hours, the heart can surrender fully. It can acknowledge its weaknesses without shame. It can confess its fears without fear. It can place all its burdens into the hands of the one who never fails. The Quran reminds us, indeed Allah is with those who are patient and those who remember Him often. Patience and remembrance. The companions of the night, the companions of the heart, the companions of true rest. When surrender becomes strength, surrender is often misunderstood. Many equate it with weakness. Many see it as giving up. But surrender in faith is the greatest strength. To lay down the burden of control, to release the illusion of power over every outcome, to trust fully in the one who holds all things. The Prophet said, "The strong person is not the one who overpowers others, but the one who controls himself when angry." Surrendering to Allah is like controlling the heart when it is restless. It is choosing trust over worry, choosing patience over panic, choosing reliance over resistance. When you surrender to Allah, the heart finds rest, not because the world changes, but because your perspective changes. Your heart becomes anchored, your soul becomes still, your trust becomes unshakable, letting go of what you cannot control. Much of the unrest in the heart comes from holding too tightly to outcomes, to people, to plans, to expectations. The night teaches you to let go, to release what is beyond your power, to hand over what you cannot change. The Quran reminds us, and rely upon Allah, and sufficient is Allah as disposer of affairs. The night is a mirror. It reflects the truth that nothing in this world is permanent, that control is an illusion, and that the only true security is in Allah. When the heart lets go, it discovers something miraculous: freedom, peace, rest. It rests not because life is easy, but because the soul has found the one who is always easy to trust. Healing in the stillness. In the quiet of the night, the heart can heal. Old wounds soften. Fears lose their edge. Anxieties lose their grip. The Prophet said, "When a servant pours his heart out to Allah, He is sufficient for him." Healing does not always come in grand gestures. It comes in the slow, quiet whispers of prayer, in the sighs released before sleep, in the moments of reflection when you acknowledge your dependence on Allah. The night holds these healing moments tenderly. It gives space for the heart to mend. It gives time for the soul to recover. It gives Allah the opportunity to fill the spaces left empty by fear, worry, and longing. The heart that knows its source will never be restless. Rest does not come to those who forget. Rest does not visit those who rely on the fleeting. True rest belongs to hearts that remember, hearts that know their source, hearts that know who holds them. The Prophet said, "Remember Allah, and you will find ease in your heart." Ease, peace, rest. All of it flows naturally from remembrance, from surrender, from reliance. When the heart finds its source in Allah, it becomes unshakable by hardship, unmoved by loss, and unafraid of the unknown. A prayer for rest. If your heart feels weary tonight, let this prayer rise. Allah, I am tired of carrying my own burdens. I am weary from trying to control what only you control. I am exhausted from seeking comfort in what cannot comfort me. I place my heart in your care. I surrender my soul to your mercy. I trust in your wisdom. I rest in your presence. Be my refuge. Be my peace. Be my comfort. Be my all. Even if the prayer is only in your heart, even if it cannot be spoken, even if it falters under your exhaustion, Allah hears, Allah accepts, Allah responds, and your heart will find its rest. Rest, weary heart. The night is long. The world is often unkind. The heart can feel heavy, lost, and burdened. But know this, every quiet sigh, every tear shed in secret, every whispered prayer, every moment of surrender, it is all held by Allah. It is all witnessed by Allah. It is all wrapped in His mercy. Rest, weary heart. Rest in the night. Rest in His presence. Rest in His remembrance. Your heart will rise renewed. Your soul will awaken refreshed. Your faith will shine brighter. Your trust will grow deeper. And this is where the believer finds their true rest, not in the absence of trials, not in the absence of hardship, but in the certainty that Allah holds them, that Allah never abandons them, and that every night is a sanctuary, prepared to restore their heart and soul. And this is where the journey of the night meets the awakening of the heart,